Hallo allemaal. Hallo. Zijn we weer. Welkom bij de eerste Amsterdam Makers. Ik begin gewoon met een klein filmpje.
You have to have the faith that you have something that's important that you're doing. You know, you're changing the world, or you're providing something that no one else can. So makers have this incredible positive view of the future. And more importantly, they believe they're capable of changing it. So if I talk to you, if I come to a meeting, we're all sitting around with our laptops and yellow pads, and I tell you my story, I tell you my idea, you might dismiss it, you might like it, but I'm not going to get you emotionally involved. If I come in with something, hey, I made this little prototype. Hey, I made this video of the future with my idea in it. What do you think? Now I've engaged everybody in the room, and not only that, everybody in the room is willing to help me. They're certainly willing to tell me what's wrong with my idea, and so all I have to do is go back and improve it. Stop talking and start making.
Let's talk. It's a little ironic, of course, that we have an event where we talk to each other about making. I know. But in the short term, I think this is the best we can do. And I hope more events will follow where the making will become a bigger part than the talking. So, hello world. For the people that use Twitter, I just came up with this hashtag. It's a little bit shorter than Amsterdam Makers. In that sense, easy. My name is Raimo van der Klein. Richard Hulskes is co-organizing. He is there. A couple of weeks ago, we decided to let's do an event on this topic. We saw a lot of things happening, and I think it's time to organize ourselves and have an event. In the short time we had, I think we created a very cool agenda today. A lot of speakers, a lot of talking. Hopefully there will be a 3D printer here as well. Yay! Let's see. Sorry. So we have various talks today. We have visionary talks from Yuri van Geest, for example. We have very practical talks, like from Seroy, about his experience with one of the products he developed. 3D printers, people that make 3D printing of printers, platforms that facilitate makers. So I think it's very diverse, and in that sense, it gives a good overview of what's going on in this business. So some of you might know me, and some of you not. Let me introduce myself. My name is Raimo van der Klein. I'm completely new to the maker world. I used to work for a company that made this phone. In 1999, I joined this company. Then mobile internet just kind of got started. I think 13 years ago, I joined them. This was the first WAP phone. I don't know if you guys know it. I had this one. It was terrible. This thing flew off, and the navigation didn't work. But you could actually use mobile internet on it, and I think it was the beginning of something new. Mobile internet really kind of triggered me, and I joined that mobile internet movement. I've been involved in mobile since this year, and now it's there, right? So let's go over it. Let's find a new industry where we can put our creative energy. And that's now for me in Maker World. So how did that happen? A couple of years ago I met this guy. This is Ido. He has a shop here in Amsterdam called 290 square meters. He sells products. But every product you touch in his shop, he has a big story about it. He tells you where it's been made, who made it, why they made it. And he sells everything that way, just by sharing the story of the product. That really got me interested, basically, in the more niche products with interesting stories, with makers. So I started reading Inventory magazine about these cool people that made these cool products, and I'm very jealous of them. That they can actually make things with their hand. I got more interested. Then I got interested in the Brooklyn artisanal food movement. If you go to Brooklyn, New York, you will see a lot of companies making coffee, making pickles, making mustard, salami, breweries, distilleries, whatever. But they all are making their own products. They're making a business with these nice little niche products. And to give you an example of something like this, I have one little video of a maker in Brooklyn.
I think my title, Executive Briner, or creator of Brooklyn Brine, it's a conversation starter. Immediately people are like, what? You do what? My name is Seamus Jones and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. The first pickle that I ever made is actually our New York City deli style pickle. I had worked on other people's recipes, but that was the first time that I ventured out and kind of developed something. And lo and behold, that's our best seller. The success of my company is largely creativity and kind of the different approach that we've taken towards developing flavors, incorporating whiskey into our whiskey sour, or curry into our curried squash have been just wildly popular. Understanding ingredients, specifically herbs and spices, and how a pinch of this or a teaspoon more of this will really change the flavor profile, add definition to a pickle. We get our produce delivered fresh daily, and we process that produce that day. We are pickle nerds, each and every one of us. We're producing between 600 and 1,000 jars every day, which is pretty intense. Yeah, I think it's pretty shocking to me even still that we can get as much done and we're as efficient as we are with such a small crew. I think from an outsider's perspective, I would imagine 30 people back here stuffing cucumbers into jars and just, madness. But when you come in, you really see people focused with an acute attention to detail and a sense of urgency and all working together. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, but also the response is pretty positive, so I think I can make this happen.
This guy made pickles cool. And after watching this movie, I saw, wow, look at him. He made his own little pickle factory business. And he made it a cool business. If you look at pickles now, just imagine, somebody in Amsterdam picking this up and making a cool pickle company. I think there's a business for it. So, what was my conclusion is that, my God, you can make a business with these small batch products. You don't have to be this big Unilever company or big. You don't need to have a big factory in China. You can actually start to make products and make a nice business out of it. Make beautiful new brands. That's why I started my own company now, Klein Productions. And what I do is I focus on these little products, these small batch products. I develop my own concepts. I participate in some, and I consult some creators or makers that have these products. And I help them make them, bring them to market. In my kind of discovery of this business, I also stumbled on Tech Shop. So a couple of months ago, I got in contact with Tech Shop and I said, you guys need to come to Amsterdam. And today later you will know why I said that. Because I think it's a great concept and these guys need to open a shop here. Actually, they're investigating to roll out and Amsterdam might be an option. So if we all behave well and buy them a beer maybe later or something like that, they might consider opening something here. I also read this interesting book from Chris Anderson, Makers, The Next Industrial Revolution. Great book, read it. I really recommend it. It's got so crazy now that this weekend I bought this one. So I'm starting to make myself, and last thing I made was something with Lego, and actually I do that now every weekend with the kids. But this is exciting, and I'm even that far that I'm considering learning how to work with this thing, an Arduino board. Let's see. But I'm sold. I'm sold to this business. What I see now is the timing is great because making has been here for a long while, but we see that it's becoming structured, professional. We get real platforms. A value chain is emerging. In that sense, I think it's becoming a real interesting. These are all companies that are facilitating makers in a sense. They're facilitating their creativity. Look them up. The interesting part is that we have 3 of them today here. Tech Shop, Ultimaker and Shapeways. 2 of them are Dutch, and I think we can be really proud of that we have a couple of companies now that already on a world level produce great products. So in a sense what we're seeing is a democratization of creation, production and distribution. We will hear a lot more about that. So the topic of today, Amsterdam, maker capital of Europe. I chose it because I think now, as making is becoming a business, I think as Amsterdam we can become a capital or use this movement to have economic value for the city. That's why I'm interested in it. I think we kind of missed a little bit the mobile bubble or mobile growth of services. Tech we're doing a little bit, but not a lot of economic value has come from that in that sense. So I hope with this, with making products, we can create a lot of innovation for the city, but also for the rest of the world. I asked this question. I asked Chris Anderson, the writer of the book Makers, what makes something a great capital for makers? And this is what he answered. The main common factor is the leading maker cities today is the depth of their design communities. That's why New York City is so strong. But design is more easily taught, learned now, so I think that will spread quickly. So if we as a city think, okay, if we want to kind of adapt our profile and really want to become a maker city and facilitate makers because we think it has a lot of economic value for the city, now is the time to use that, because we have a very large design community, and I think it's now time to utilize that design community and let's start making.